Aloha, this is Dr. David Bilstrom from the International Autoimmune Institute and the Autoimmune Lifestyle, and this is Did You Know, coming to you from the Big Island of Hawaii, this the Aloha, and we're talking about the folate receptor alpha antibody autoimmune disease that drives autism spectrum disorder, found in 70-76% of kids with autism, young people with autism, but also cerebral folate deficiency as well. And this information comes from the Journal of Personalized Medicine, July 2021, entitled Folate Receptor Alpha Autoantibodies in Autism Spectrum Disorder, Diagnosis, Treatment, and Prevention. So we're going to talk about treatment on this video. Last time we got into a little bit about the prevention and the treatment, but we're going to talk about treatment. Now, just remember, you can treat autoimmune disease and try to get it to go away, right? And so I'll refer you to the article, the case study that was in the International Journal of Psychology and Neuroscience about a child at 28 months of age diagnosed with severe autism. A year later, he was great, okay? I wish I would have known this back then, but I didn't. But thank goodness, hey, we got rid of the autoimmune disease, even though we may not have even known exactly what autoimmune diseases he had. So the first part of the treatment is they talk about high-dose folinic acid. Now, not folic acid. Folic acid is the unusable, unmethylated form of folic acid. In the Journal of the Inheritable Metabolic Diseases article entitled Cerebral Folate Deficiency from 2010, they said do not use folic acid. It can make it worse, right? Unusable form, they build up if you take high doses, and it creates inflammation, it makes it worse. So now folinic acid is a prescription medicine. Now that's not the methylated form, okay, they talk about here. But this folinic acid can turn into other forms of B vitamins, ideally the methylated version. But we know so many people have trouble with methylation reactions, right? It's not just the MTHFR gene SNP, right? 20 different reasons why you're a bad methylator. Only that's one of them. You can fix all the other 19, maybe you can't fix that one. We want to use methylfolate, okay, the active usable form of folic acid for this, and optimizing vitamin D. They say it right here in the article. The previous video we talked about, if you want to get activated B vitamins like activated methylfolate from the body into the brain across the blood-brain barrier, those transporters are vitamin D dependent. Once again, vitamin D does it again. Now, the second treatment is a strict animal milk-free diet, okay? The two worst kinds of animal milk products, cow's milk and camel milk, okay? Now, I'm gonna have to kind of rethink the way we treat, because this article suggests, like in kids with this kind of stuff, you really want to get rid of all animal milk products. So we'll probably, at least temporarily until we can fix it, get rid of the goat's milk and sheep's milk products, as well as camel milk. Now, I want to give a shout out to the Academy of Leadership Science Switzerland. Okay, this great organization that we've now partnered together to change the way autoimmune disease is dealt with outside the US and Canada. They have a huge presence in Europe, Middle East, Asia, and Africa. And so my shout out to them, and I think this is going to be a wonderful collaboration, is the camel milk. Okay, so I had to look this up because I'm like, hey, you know, I should know this stuff if we're going to be talking to that part of the world. So it turns out, per WebMD, Middle Eastern, Asian, and African cultures have drunk camel milk for centuries. In fact, it is highly sought after. 5.3 million tons are produced around the world every year, mainly coming from Somalia. So in our population that we're going to see in Middle East, Asia, and Africa, this will be very pertinent because camel milk, along with cow's milk dairy, big drivers of this folate receptor alpha antibody autoimmune disease that drives autism spectrum disorder, cerebral folate deficiency. Okay, treatment part number 3. You gotta get rid of the wheat and gluten, right? It's an autoimmune disease, you gotta get rid of them. Plus, the proteins in animal milk products are very similar to the proteins in wheat, right? So we gotta get rid of those guys. And then treatment number 4, see my article in the International Journal of Psychology and Neuroscience about we got to get rid of the reason why you got the autoimmune disease and thus we're going to be preventing new disease, but also we have the very best chance to reverse the autoimmune disease that's already present, okay? Once again, let's get rid of this autoimmune disease process that drives cerebral folate deficiency, autism spectrum disorder. Let's fix the parents before conception. Let's do everything we can. We do not need this autism, all the brainy stuff we see in kids nowadays, right? Developmental delays, autism spectrum disorder. Every other kid's got ADD, ADHD. Oh my gosh. Plus all the immune system stuff like asthmas and peanut allergies and gluten intolerance. Once again, aloha from the Big Island, Hawaii. Bye now.